Last night, The Late Show with Stephen Colbert turned into a high-voltage clash when former Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi was abruptly removed from the set following a volatile exchange with the host. The confrontation erupted in real time, stunning the studio audience and igniting a storm across social media. What started as a high-stakes interview quickly spiraled out of control. Bondi, prepared to defend her political record, faced a relentless barrage from Colbert, whose trademark sarcasm struck early and hard. "Pam, are you a legal eagle, or just circling controversy?" he quipped, drawing a mix of laughter and tense silence from the crowd. Bondi's response was cold but composed. "I'm an eagle, Stephen. You're just a comedian." The segment grew increasingly intense. Colbert rolled footage of a past legal case involving Bondi, accompanied by rapid-fire headlines. "That's Pam's record," he said. "But is it justice or just noise?" "It's justice, Stephen," Bondi replied, her tone steel. "I fight. You joke." The room grew thick with tension. Some members of the audience cheered, others shifted uncomfortably as producers exchanged looks behind the scenes. Bondi's calm exterior began to crack under the pressure. Colbert's eyes flickered with intent. The interview was no longer about policy, it had become a personal showdown. "You don't get my work, Stephen. I'm shaping policy. You're shaping laughs." Colbert fired back without missing a beat. "Policy? You're shaping chaos, Pam. I'll prove it." The crowd gasped. Phones went up. A new clip flashed across the screen. Another courtroom moment, another headline. The moment hit raw. Bondi's jaw tensed. Colbert's grin widened. "You deliver jokes," Bondi said sharply. "I deliver justice." Cheers and boos collided in the room, the crowd now visibly divided. The segment had lost its original rhythm, and producers watched the clock nervously. "Justice? Or just a circus?" Colbert shot back. "You're a one-woman drama reel." Bondi's eyes narrowed. "Drama? I've shaped laws, Stephen. You've shaped skits." The audience responded instantly, some shouting support, others jeering. Stagehands whispered through their headsets. The tension was reaching its peak. "Skits?" Colbert smirked. "You're the act, Pam, and your fuse is lit." Bondi didn't flinch. "Act? I've got conviction. I'm fighting real battles." "You're chasing ratings." Colbert leaned in. "Battles. You're fighting flops, Pam, just look at you." He gestured to her clenched hands. The audience roared, some in approval, some in shock, as the energy in the room veered into chaos. Some in the audience surged to their feet, chanting, "Colbert, Colbert," while others jeered, phones raised, filming every second. The energy crackled as the confrontation deepened. Explosive reactions flooded social media, with one viral post already racking up likes mid-show. As the exchange intensified, Bondi's mask began to slip. The studio pulsed with heat. Sources say her hands gripped the desk tighter, knuckles paling. "Flops? I'm a force, Stephen. I'll outlast your snark," she fired, her voice carrying a tremble. Colbert didn't flinch. "Force? You're a punchline now, Pam." His delivery was sharp, calculated, designed to slice. The crowd roared. Some stood, others shouted, their voices mixing into a chaotic din. Producers scrambled behind the scenes, signaling for a break, but the segment barreled forward. Bondi shot back, rising. "I'm not sparking. You're nothing." Her voice cracked as the room swelled with noise, the tension tearing through every second. Insiders noticed. She was fraying. Her control buckled under the pressure. Colbert, unfazed, leaned in. His voice didn't rise but cut deep. "Punchline, Pam. Your record's a farce. Your fights? Flops." He rolled a fast-paced montage. Clips of courtroom defeats, protest, headlines, public backlash. The crowd reacted instantly, some laughing, others gasping. Bondi's jaw locked. "Farce? I'm a fighter, Stephen. You're a cynic." Her voice rang out, defiant, shaking slightly as cheers clashed with boos. Behind the cameras, the live feed held like a stretched wire, tension high. Colbert didn't let up. "Fighter? You're fueling chaos, Pam. Just look at the mess." Bondi, snapped. Chaos? I've built justice, Stephen. You've built nothing. Some in the audience shouted, "Burn him, Pam," while others hissed, phones still filming. Expos erupted across platforms. One headline read simply, "Bondi meltdown." Colbert locked eyes with her. "Justice? Your disorder, Pam. Your sparks are fading." He pointed at her flushed face. Her glare locked onto him. The crowd boiled, some chanting, "Break her." Others cried out, "Ease up." The room buzzed on the edge of eruption. What turned the heat into a wildfire wasn't just the barbs. It was Bondi's fury. She stood abruptly, palms slamming the desk. "Disorder? I'm a force, Stephen. I'll bury you." Her voice exploded across the stage, raw and ragged. Colbert fired back instantly. "Force? You're a flop factory, Pam. Bury yourself." Gasps tore through the room. Some in the crowd rushed toward the edge of the stage. Others screamed. Clips were already hitting ex-Bondi, visibly shaken, shouted, "I'm not a flop. I'll crush you." Her voice cracked, hands pounding the desk again. The studio combusted into noise. Sources say producers signaled security, tension crackling in their voices. "She's hot. Get someone up here." Bondi pressed on, unrelenting. "You're a nobody, Stephen. I'm everything." Sweat glistened. Her fury trembled in the spotlight. Colbert rose from his seat slowly. "Everything?" he sneered. "You're a tantrum, Pam. Crashing live." The crowd erupted. Some tossed cups. Others live-streamed, narrating in real time. Bondi's voice thundered over the chaos. "I'm not crashing. You're done." Her eyes wild. The confrontation stretched to its peak. Insiders noted she was past the edge. The segment had veered far from control. The room felt ready to split. The air, hot and tight, swirled with chants, shouts, and the shrill echo of security radios. Viewers barely had a breath between segments. A gap, then chaos. Online, a wildfire ignited. Reactions exploded across platforms as Bondi's voice tore through the screen. "I'm not crashing. You're done." Her roar collided with Colbert's. Final strike, a searing line that burned the night into memory. "Crashing, Pam?" His grin glinted cold. "Your career's a sham. You're the proof." The words landed hard, cruel, devastating. On screen behind him, a mock reel unfurled. Bondi's courtroom stumbles, protests, brutal headlines. The crowd fractured, some laughing, some recoiling as Bondi's face contorted. "Sham?" she bellowed. "I'm a titan, Stephen. You're a speck." Her voice boomed, splintered by rage. The audience surged again, cheers clashing with sharp boos. Producers froze in place. The live feed wobbled on the edge of implosion. Colbert leaned in. "Titan? You're a tire, Pam. Burning live." The jab cut deep, final, and Bondi lunged. Forward. "Fire. I fought for justice. You fought for laughs." Her eyes blazed, but Colbert was faster. "Justice? You're a meltdown, Pam. Your sparks?" He pointed to her trembling frame. "Toast." The crowd exploded. Some chanted, "Fall, fall," while others screamed, "Hold on." Phones lit the room, screens everywhere, exposés flying. "Bondi's done." One caption blared, trending in real time. "I'm not toast," she roared. "You're trash." She slammed both hands on the desk, the surface jolting, her fury erupting in a bellow that seemed to shake the walls. The room blew wide open. Insiders say she stood tall, her body locked with tension. "Trash," she shouted. "I'm a legend, Stephen. I'll crush you." Her voice cracked under the weight of rage. Colbert's smile never flickered. "Legend?" he said, inching forward. "You're a mess, Pam. Crashing live." The taunt landed like a blow. Phones caught every second. Clips hit X instantly. One headline read, "Bondi's meltdown live." Another simply, "She's lost it." Millions watched in real time as Bondi screamed, "I'm not a mess. You're nothing." Her fists hit the desk again. It rattled like a drumbeat of collapse. Control shattered. The spark that sealed her fate lit in a second. Sources say she ripped off her mic, her breath ragged. "I'm done with this," she snapped. "You're dead." Then came the crash, her mic slamming the floor, a sharp metallic ricochet. Colbert didn't blink. "Dead?" he said coolly. "You're the wreck, Pam. Get out." The crowd ignited. Some surged forward, others screamed, "Kick her!" Security dove for the stage. Bondi thrashed in their arms. "Let me go!" she shrieked. "I'll walk." Her fury was incandescent. Producers shouted commands. Staff scrambled. She tore herself loose. "I'll walk! I'll walk!" she yelled, voice raw, stumbling toward the edge of the lights. Her frame tensed, sweat shining, her face a storm of rage. Colbert rose, arms folded, unmoved. "Get out, Pam. Your mess is done." Some in the crowd roared in victory. "Gone. Gone." Others gasped stunned. "No, Pam," someone yelled, lost in the noise. Security hovered at her flanks but didn't stop her. The live feed caught every wild stride as she stomped toward the wings. The studio held its breath, her silhouette shrinking in the glare. A tempest fading. Behind her, the audience fractured completely. Phones up. Some screamed, "She's out!" Others pounded chairs, shouting support. "Bondi forever!" The room wasn't a stage anymore. It was a battlefield of noise and disbelief. And it wasn't over. Stunned producers scrambled, headsets buzzing. "She's off." "Keep it live," one stammered. The broadcast held, the camera lingering on the wrecked desk where Bondi once sat, a silent monument to her collapse. Colbert leaned into the moment. "That's the Bondi exit, folks. All noise," he quipped, voice dripping with mockery, sparking roars of laughter. Chaos rained down in the studio. Some tossed cups, others live-streamed the scene as the energy surged, untamed. But what truly turned this into a spectacle wasn't just the rage. It was Bondi's downfall. Sources report her final, defiant snarl as she vanished, barely audible. "I'll bury you." Her defiance, drenched in anger, faded into the background. Colbert, ever cool, waved. "Bury me? You buried yourself, Pam. See ya." His final barb landed with ruthless precision. The crowd erupted, cheers crashing against boos. The internet exploded in real time with X posts flashing across the screen. Clips of Bondi's frantic exit. One read, "She's done," trending fast. Another of her mic toss went viral, the images looping endlessly. Bondi was kicked off and the internet was hooked. Millions watched the wreckage unfold as Colbert's victory flashed across their screens. Insiders say producers let it roll. The ratings, a goldmine. The chaos was too intense to cut. The aftermath hit hard. Bondi's team scrambled backstage, sources hinting at her fury. She raged into a corner, her voice raw. "This isn't over." Aides rushed to shield her while Colbert strutted, basking in his triumph. "That's how you boot a firebrand," he quipped, and the crowd roared, deafening. Some surged the stage, others filmed the chaos as security moved to clear the wings. Backstage, the storm brewed. Bondi's anger didn't fade, it fueled the online firestorm. Her statement, "I'll stand taller," posted later, pulled in 120,000 likes but was swamped with replies. "You crashed, Pam," one read, immediately trending. Clips of her stormy exit and mic toss looped for millions to watch. Bondi's meltdown was a meme goldmine. Memes flooded TikTok and Instagram captioned "legal tantrum," becoming viral staples. Supporters rallied, claiming, "She's a fighter." They're petty. But the tide of negativity surged on. Bondi's reputation, once pristine, now bruised beyond recognition. Meanwhile, Colbert's camp soaked in the glory. Sources say his next show began with a smug quip. "We had Bondi. She flared, I fled her," drawing a record 65% ratings spike fueled by the lingering chaos. Insiders hint at Colbert's gloating. "I won," he claimed, as his team reveled in the fallout. The internet split down the middle. Bondi's fans mourned. One thread read, "She's gold." As a defense, while critics feasted on her downfall, Bondi's a loud flop, another post gleamed. Analysts noted that Colbert played it perfect, while others predicted a PR hit for Bondi. A political campaign spiked branding disaster. Bondi, still reeling, held up in silence. Some whispered that she's plotting a counterstrike, maybe a public speech. Her silence deafening. The scar of her ejection, however, was undeniable. The ripple effects were seismic. Late-night TV was rattled. Experts debated whether Colbert had flipped the script or burned it. Networks now eyed riskier guests with caution. The question loomed, would they fade if they misstep? Half of the audience cheered for Colbert's firebrand tactics, while others cringed, calling the clash too harsh. But in the end, the cultural burn was real. Bondi's fall, Colbert's peak, etched into viral lore. And the war? It's far from over. Bondi's comeback, Colbert's next play, a fuse, waiting to ignite. Stay tuned.